Hello folks, I'm Dane Forsyth, and welcome to Trad Bowron. This lesson is designed for intermediate beginners and intermediate level Bowron players who do not know how to read music. It's titled Patterns in Irish Traditional Tunes, Part A, Basic Organization and Structure. This lesson provides knowledge that will assist us in applying the skills of determining and anticipating when to enter a tune and tune transitions, such as moving from an A part to a B part or from tune to tune. One of the advantages non-music reading melody players have over non-music reading Bowron players includes a distinct understanding of the tune structures of Irish traditional tunes. When a melody player learns a tune, they learn it by ear, phrase by phrase. This embeds a clear and distinct understanding of where the player is in the tune. The structure is built into the learning process, which unfortunately is not the case when learning Bowron. As Bowron players, we tend to learn sticking patterns, and we're left to sort out the tune patterns over a long period of time. This lesson is designed to provide guidance and clarity regarding the structure of Irish traditional tunes so that fairly early on in the learning process, one can come to an understanding of where they are in the tune. This enables us to understand how to build tension and variation into our playing based on where we are in the tune and anticipate transitions, including tune endings. So we'll start out by identifying parts of a tune, the call and response system, and major phrases. And we'll do this through the exploration of a standard reel in Bowron notation and a standard reel in melodic staff notation. But don't worry, we won't need to know how to read the tune. We're just looking at the structure here. We'll note also the repetition within the tune and the repetition of the tune itself. Here's a reel in basic Bowron notation. I'm sure it looks familiar. We have the directional arrows indicating the tipper direction and the thicker arrows indicating accented notes. I've kept the notation very basic, as this lesson is focused on the overall patterns of the tune rather than our tipper and beat and pulse patterns, etc. Now we've cut the tune in half here. We refer to these parts as the A part and the B part. This is a standard call and response system. Here we have a major phrase that includes 8 segments of our reel pattern. Each segment here corresponds directly to a single bar of Western music notation. The first major phrase, or call, we refer to as the A part, and the second major phrase, or response, we refer to as the B part. If you've listened to your melody players in your community, I'm sure you've overheard them making these references when talking about tune structures. As you can see, the call and response are equal in duration and length. This being an oral tradition, let's match this visual with an actual tune. I'll play the A part and pause, then I'll play the B part. If you listen closely, you'll hear clear contrasting phrasing between the A part and B part. Try to key into the differences between the two. So let's hear it one more time, and this time I want you to really notice the rise in pitch in the B part. This is a fairly typical pattern, although not all tunes follow this pattern, but it is fairly normal to rise in pitch in the second part. A part. So this change in pitch is one of the more obvious patterns to listen for. It communicates we've moved into the B part. Eventually, too, provided you spend plenty of time listening to Irish traditional music, you'll develop a sense of timing where you'll be able to consistently anticipate the transition from the A part to the B part. So, frequent weekly or even better daily listening to Irish traditional music can quicken your ability to feel when the transitions are about to happen. Okay, so here we have Bowron notation for a standard reel, just as before. But this time I've added some symbols from Western classical music staff notation. Note the green vertical ovals. They encircle the double bars and double dot symbols. These symbols communicate two things. First, the double bars are boundaries indicating sections of the tune. So you'll recognize that the first double bar there, it's at the end of what we would call the A part. And then the other two double bars are situated to kind of encapsulate the B part. So these are the clear boundaries visually that are indicating the A part and the B part. The double bars are unequal here, and with one rather thin line accompanied by the thicker line. This inequality of thickness, along with the double dots there, communicate that we are to repeat the entire preceding section. So when we finish bar 8, we return to bar 1 and play that section again. Once we've repeated it, we can then move on to the next section, the B part, and when we complete bar 16, we return to bar 9. That same symbol in bar 9 tells us to begin the second section repetition at bar 9 as opposed to going all the way back to bar 1. Typically, when we've completed the entire tune with these repetitions, we return to bar 1 to play the entire tune again with the repeating of each section as before. It's rather standard to play a tune 3 times through and follow it with another tune without missing a beat, repeating that tune in the same fashion. So we're stringing tunes together, each tune being played 3 times a piece. So also in blue here, I labeled the A part and the B part, right? And also the fact that we're going to repeat it. So we're going to play the A part twice before we move to the B part. We're going to play that B part 2 times, and then we'll go all the way back to that A part again. So let's take a quick look at an example of a reel like this, but written out in staff notation. In it, we'll see the same symbols showing us the same pattern, but with melody notes. And again, I don't expect anyone to be able to read the notes, all right, as we're just really concerned with the roadmap and the patterns in this tune. Here we are. I've added the notations that parallel the Bowron notation from above, and we can see the unequal double bars with the double dots indicating the tune parts and when to repeat. I've also included in blue labeling of the A part and B parts. So just to identify when the pitch gets higher, let's follow along with our eyes as best we can with the tune as it's played. Notice that in the second half of bar 1, the notes are at the bottom of the staff. Now look at bar 9. Those notes are a bit higher within the staff. We can hear these differences even if we don't read music. And this kind of pitch change signals us that we're in the B part, just as you had heard previously. Okay, so eventually we'll be able to anticipate, as I said, the few beats before the transition happens. Over time, you'll be able to anticipate this. Back to our Bowron notation here. The next slide of this lesson is a duplicate of the one here. And on the next slide, I'm going to play the tune again, and this time I'm going to repeat the A part and B part just as I would normally when playing the tune in a session. Then I'll repeat the entire tune again. In the interest of time, I'm only going to play the entire tune twice through as opposed to 3 times through, which I would typically do in a session. Follow along the Bowron notation with your eyes to track the tune and try to notice where the phrasing and pitch changes just before and after the repeat signs. 1, 2. Repeat. Into the B part. B part again. Whole tune. A quick review. How are tunes organized? With a call and response system. How many parts in a tune? Most tunes have two major melodic phrases referred to as an A part and a B part. How can I tell what part we're playing? The A part in most tunes starts out at mid to low pitch level. The B part in most tunes rises in pitch in contrast to the A part. And don't forget, each A and B part is repeated before moving on. And the next lesson in this series is going to answer the following questions. What are the signposts in tunes that can help us know even more specifically where we are in a tune? And how can we know when to listen for signals and when to look for signals? If you found this lesson helpful, look for the next lesson in this unit, Patterns in Irish Traditional Tunes, Part B, Aural Signposts, Formal and Improvised. And if you simply can't get enough about bodhrán accompaniment in the context of Irish traditional music, visit Trad Bodhrán for in-depth articles, learning resources, and private or group lessons. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, mind those liner notes.